What is going on, guys? We're going to come to videos, and today we're doing a WTF series review. If you guys are new to the channel or new to the series, a WTF series is where I review something so bad that it's good, or something so bad it makes you want to somersault off the Golden Gate Bridge. Today I'll be reviewing Artemis Fowl. This was clearly a request because this is a newer film, and B, something that's not in my wheelhouse. Not because it's a fantasy. I'm starting to get into fantasy more and more as I get older. No, it's just because I never read the books, and that's where a lot of the hate is coming from. So, if I piss in your Cheerios, book fans, I apologize. But I gotta review this on a movie on its own. And this is genuinely a bad movie. Let's not get the messages mixed up. This is a bad movie, not just on an adaptation standpoint, because I know only one or two things about the book. I know one of them is supposed to be a criminal mastermind. Someone told me Artemis Fowl is supposed to be a criminal mastermind, but I'm like, which one? So she did explain that to me, but I forgot because honestly, I just didn't care. One of them is supposed to be a criminal mastermind, and in the movie, they're both supposed to be good guys. So that's one off the list. And then the other thing is that Artemis Fowl, the kid, is supposed to be like very unathletic. I remember that was the thing that stuck with me the most because he's supposed to be so smart, but he's physically incapable of climbing a ladder. Her words, not mine. Well, her words from another friend's words, not mine. Imagine my surprise when I see the movie opening up with Artemis Fowl surfing, which, to my understanding, is a physical activity. I understand there's adaptations and you got to take liberties, but why is that something that you got to take liberty with? God knows how much shit they took in from the books and just ripped it in half. But that's not even my biggest problem. Let's talk about one of my biggest problems. But one of the biggest problems, Josh Gad. Josh Gad looks like a freaking Hagrid reject, first off, who's apparently a dwarf but is tall, and it's like a birth defect, and that's supposed to be his character. So his whole character is he's tall, but he's a dwarf, and he's being segregated against everybody because he's tall and a dwarf. And so he's not accepted by the dwarfs, he's not accepted by the fairies. This guy is the one that's narrating over the entire movie. The entire movie. And I don't know why he sounds like Christian Bale's Batman. Yeah, you can imagine my surprise. His voice is so forced. It's just, it's bad. It's terrible acting, in my opinion. If that was what the director wanted, Josh Gad didn't even look like he was trying half the time. It was pathetic. And half the time when he's narrating, it's easier to be shown, not told. Like, there was a time where they're talking about the butler. Watch it, because he doesn't like being called the butler. Josh Gad made that vividly clear, because Josh Gad makes these character sheets of something I would rather see unfold and then be told. He is talking about the butler. He's like, yes, his last name is the butler, but if you call him the butler, he snaps. Glad that never showed up in the fucking movie. Even though it makes no sense why he hates being called the butler, they don't go into detail why he hates being called the butler. He just hates being called the butler. Josh Gad made that vividly clear. He hates being called the butler, and it made no sense to bring up. He just does these terrible, poor excuses of exposition. And in fantasy, you will need exposition, but this is the laziest exposition I could ever see. And Lord of the Rings, they needed exposition. Don't act like Lord of the Rings didn't have it. They need it. It's such a vast open world, but they did it in an interesting way, and when the plot called for it, not when it was, okay, we introduce a character, let's get it out of the way. That's just bad. That's just bad exposition. I want to get into the biggest problem with this movie, and it's the world. You have a fantasy world open to you. Again, I don't care if this was what it was like in the books. This is coming from a fantasy fan and what I wanted to say. Why are you spending 80% of the movie inside the Fowl Manor? That is boring. It's like watching a Batman movie but you're stuck inside Jim Gordon's house while he's having a fucking midlife crisis. It makes no sense. You're in a fantasy movie. I'm not saying it's the easiest to make, but it's easiest to exploit. You know how you exploit it? By showing the fantasy world. Create something, and then you'll have something to show for the audience. And just showing them what you built, not telling them what you built, people will be invested. But no, they had Josh Gad narrating every 15 fucking seconds. And then the exposition, even when Gad's not narrating, is so fucking awful. I'm sorry, I'm transitioning, but this has to do with the world building. He's in prison for 400 years, and he's stuck with these goblins, and he starts picking a fight, and then they start doing cool magic with the fire and shit like that. He's like, you're gonna burn yourself. He's like, we goblins are fireproof skinned and shit. And he's like, I forgot about that. I don't know how that makes any sense. I'm like, are you, as writers, that fucking lazy? We're like, yeah, I don't know how I forgot about that. How can I forget about goblins having fireproof skin when I lived with them my entire life for fucking hundreds of years? How can I forget? Oh, wait, maybe it's because I was trying to tell the audience over there. Even before they even did the exposition, I knew they were fireproof. Not only because it's at Fantasy, 101, he fucking breathed fire on his hand. And he's not burning. Oh, my God. One of the weakest points when I knew I was in trouble was when they were shooting the city life by, the I don't know what they were near. It was like some checkout or processing station. They were playing this whimsical music, like it was so vast and large, when they were just showing generic creature designs based off fairy tale book, and just showing them walking around. That's it. And they were just playing whimsical music, and I'm like, this is where the whimsical music's gonna play in? Oh no, we're in trouble. So I feel like the genre of fantasy has one job to do, where it's in comedy, it doesn't need the greatest of acting. It doesn't need the greatest of writing. What it needs is to make you laugh. Horror, same thing. It just needs to make you scared. That's why some people love horror movies, even though I hate it, because I don't want to be scared. But each genre has a specific job to do foremost above anything else. Action is to make you see great action. That's why John Wick is a fantastic series. I understand some people don't like it, surprisingly, but its action is so great, the mild plot and character development is surpassed because the action is just that fucking fantastic. Fantasy, its job is for world building. That's why everyone loves Lord of the Rings. That's why people love certain fantasy movies, because the world is so vast and you get to learn something. I can't tell you what I learned out of this. Just over the Force exposition, I can tell you fairies can live up to I think 1,000 years old. That's 100 years to us. So they live literally 10 times longer than us. Cool, I guess. So there was a fairy that looked like she was 12, but she was actually 83. Cool, I guess. Josh Gad as a dwarf has the ability to expand his jaw, which was nightmare fuel. Cool. Goblins are fireproof. Cool. I just wish I could genuinely see some of these things unfold naturally and not being told. This movie is not interesting. It built they just tell you about this world that you're in. They don't show you. And I don't know. It's crap. It's fucking crap. I think they heard about Artemis Fowl and they're trying to cut the blaze short. Another problem is there's not much to talk about. Again, because the majority of the movie, they're stuck in the Artemis Manor. Fowl Manor, the prison, processing area, which is near the prison, and the city where the troll went loose. That's 4 locations. Off the top of my head, and there's a fucking tree, I guess, if you want to count that, that's 5. 5 locations. In a fantasy movie. Why? That is fucking lazy. I want to see worlds. I want to see things explored, not explained. Artemis Fowl leaves Artemis Fowl. Who? Which one? I can't tell you. One of them leaves, gets captured, and then now Artemis Fowl has got a plan. Fantasy shit happens. House is surrounded by fairies, so they send a troll in. House gets destroyed. They use the accumulonimbus device thing. Daddy's back. Boom. Yay. Prison. Exposition about goblin skin. Yay. The city. The exposition on the time warp thing. And poor CG troll. Yay. The processing area. Exposition on Gad's character. Yay. Oh, and there's that one fucking room where the Minotaur's at. Where they just spit more exposition. Yay. At this point, I'm just repeating myself, guys. I'm going to cut this episode short. There's just nothing to say. And it's a fantasy movie. This episode should be 35 minutes fucking long. And they can't even do that shit right. Whatever. Yeah, support me on Patreon. Patreon.com/GumpsVideos. And if you want to see what the next episode is, make sure you stick through the credits. Gumps_videos. Go follow me there. Patreon.com/GumpsVideos. So many tiers. And by the way, exclusive content. If you want to go support there, $1. That's all you need. $1 for exclusive content. Peace.